National borders, historical victories, the value of paper currency. We treat these concepts as solid, unquestionable structures, right up until the moment they shatter. At the foundational level, human society operates without objective facts. We exist within a landscape of competing, subjective interpretations. This raises a difficult question. If everything is purely subjective, why does our daily reality feel so concrete? Why do millions of people seamlessly agree on property rights, laws, and the historical record? A dominant power backs an interpretation, transforming a subjective claim into a daily, unquestionable fact. Human history is a pragmatic wrestling match of competing agendas. The faction with the most leverage writes the dictionary, defining what is true and what is false for everyone else. Without an understanding of this dynamic, your entire worldview belongs to someone else. You are living inside a pre-packaged interpretation, handed down by whoever won the last power struggle. The moment one singular interpretation secures the authority to punish and reward, the debate stops. Society enters a consolidation phase. Competing ideas are systematically scrubbed from the cultural record. Discarded interpretations are removed from textbooks, defunded, and quietly dropped from public memory, ensuring the winning narrative appears to be the only possible reality. Decades later, new generations are born into this highly curated environment. They see absolute consensus and assume they are looking at the natural order of the world, unaware the alternatives were destroyed before they were born. In isolated individuals, logic is standard, but when humans congregate, the pattern flips. Irrational behavior becomes the norm. Insanity serves a social function, the willing abandonment of objective reality for synchronized dogma. Adhering to local mythology secured the entry fee for mutual survival. Once a group successfully forms, its primary objective shifts. The collective stops trying to understand the external environment and begins obsessing entirely over maintaining its own internal power and cohesion. A group will fiercely defend a shared lie that keeps it united, reacting with hostility toward any verifiable truth that might tear its power apart. Maintaining this artificial consensus requires immense friction. The collective weaponizes social pressure, applying it directly against anyone attempting to process information independently. The implicit threat is exile. Disagree with the prevailing narrative and you risk immediate ostracization. You lose your friends, your employment, and your social belonging. This illustrates a mechanical diversion in the brain. When incoming data hits a red threat barrier indicating potential social isolation, it is routed away from logic centers. Inside this closed biological loop, requests for accuracy are treated as treason against collective authority. Widespread consensus is rarely proof of a concept's validity. It is a measurable metric of fear and enforced compliance. Modern society is heavily fractured into competing media conglomerates, political factions, and cultural tribes, all simultaneously fighting to enforce their specific versions of reality. The sheer volume of competing interpretations is exhausting. We are bombarded by carefully engineered assertions from every direction every time we look at a screen. In a highly contested ideological environment, passive consumption is dangerous. If you absorb the prevailing narrative without friction, you adopt an agenda by default. You unknowingly act as a foot soldier in a power struggle you never chose to enter. To navigate this environment, you can employ forensic epistemology. It is the study of how we separate true knowledge from mere belief through evidence-based investigation. It allows you to reverse engineer everyday facts to expose the power dynamics underneath them. Start by looking for the enforcer. When presented with an absolute claim, ask exactly who possesses the power to punish dissenters, economically, socially, or legally. Look for the benefit. Analyze which specific faction gains wealth, authority, or insulation from criticism because this assertion is widely believed. Finally, watch the reaction to a question. Observe what happens when someone asks for proof. Truth invites inquiry, while power reacts by attacking the questioner. This vertical filter illustrates how a claim changes as you strip away layers. Coercion, profit, and panic are removed, leaving only the verifiable core. You cannot stop factions from writing the rules, but by reclaiming your reasoning, you inoculate yourself against their influence. Recognizing exactly how reality is constructed by groups allows you to step outside the boundaries of your own era. You escape the epoch, no longer forced to live as a pawn in someone else's interpretation.